All right. We are live. Jackie, we are live. So excited to be here. So excited to have you back with
Yeah.
me here tonight. But welcome, everybody, wherever you may be watching us from. You are watching Stand Up, Fight Back, where we discuss strategy and analysis for the progressive movement. I am here with Jackie Hernandez. She's my co host. And we're
Yeah.
very excited about today because, again, this is the end. We're coming towards the end of the year. So much stuff going on. But Jackie, I want to commend you. Look at that graphic you got in the back. That is badass right there.
That is my only wish for Christmas, really.
Yes. You want to go ahead and greet the people?
Yeah, hi everybody. I hope you have been having a great week and preparing for the holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate. It's exciting to see the lights and everyone doing their thing with their family. Also, we just want to remember to all the folks who are out there and having a hard time right now, because that's also something that happens during the holidays. My heart goes out to you. And one of the things that we want to ensure is that everybody does feel some love during this holiday, no matter how hard it is. So my heart goes out to everybody out there.
Yes, so many people suffering out there, and it's no secret it is cold out there. I
Yeah.
mean, it is cold, and so many people out there sleeping on the streets. It's really hard because at least some of us have a roof over our heads. We're able to crawl into a warm bed. We're able to, have clothes. A lot of people don't have
A
clothes,
shower.
showers, all those little things that we take for granted, people, this is a time that in times like this that we need to be very uh, heartwarming towards those people that don't have all the things that most of the people have. So most definitely, if you see unhoused person out there, give him a smile. Buy him a little coffee, give him something. Be kind to people. This is some of the stuff that we need to be doing as human beings, regardless of what we think about uh, why people got there or whatever. We need to be compassionate. We need to show empathy. We need um, to give a helping hand. People are hurting out there. Jackie, wow, another year is gone by already. So much stuff has happened through the year. This next
Yeah.
couple of broadcasts, we're going to be talking about. Well, actually, we got one more left, I think, two more left. But we're going to be talking about end of the year and how how well did that progressive movement done this past year.
Yeah, definitely. I feel hopeful in many ways. When it comes to a lot of the progressives, especially in Los Angeles, we did see a lot of momentum. And when it came to measures, I think the propositions measures on states as well did very well. We know that measures, progressive measures, do very well even in conservative countries. I'm sorry, countries, states. And we really see that people want change. And when it comes to politicians, when they also champion those progressive policies, we see them be more successful than the people who kind of shy away from, Medicare for all, or for environmental health, or for, racial justice, anything that has to do with progressive values and minimum wage rise, all of that is something that we have also seen be what people want. People want rent control. People want sheriff accountability, and we saw that people voted for that here in Pasadena as well. Things went well with the rent control measure. So there's a lot of wins this year for progressives, but that just means that we also need to keep that momentum by keeping people engaged and educated on the matter.
Right. So pretty much is that although we are coming strong towards the end of the year, there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of
Well,
work to do.
always.
As always, right? It's like
Mhm.
nothing new is, with all the challenges, Jackie, that we have had over the years. with the little resources that we have in a grassroots movement, we have been managed and able to accomplish a lot. And
Yeah.
that is because people come together. And talking about coming together, yesterday we have the Honorable Congresswoman Cori Bush here in Southern California. There was an event that took place over in Santa Monica to try to raise some funds for her. We learned a lot about the Congresswoman, the challenges that she's facing, especially in her district uh, and in Washington. Actually, she's constantly being threatened. She has to hire a security guard to be able to a security pretty much um, company uh, to try to keep her safe. The ongoing amount of threats that she received, she was sharing with the audience yesterday, is unreal. They got to share some of the nitty gritty of the kind of threats that she received, and it's like mind blowing, you
Yeah.
know. And so the Congresswoman was here, but I really really enjoyed yesterday's event because over in Santa Monica, and by the way, shout out to Jan Goodman that opened her home in Santa Monica. She's one of the powerhouses in Southern California when it comes to the progressive movement. She has always opened up her home to do fundraisers for candidates and for the things that we need to do. So shout out to her for her kindness, for the open heart that she has um, to give her home to the movement, and as well with her husband. So we want to commend them for what they've done, but we also want to give a shout out uh, to all the people that put the event together yesterday. I got to tell you, Jackie, there were a lot of the powerhouses from the progressive movement attending yesterday, and some elected officials. I got to say, I saw people out there that I haven't seen for a little while, but we're talking about rubbing shoulders and rubbing elbows with some of our elected officials, like Hugo was there. You know, we had Nina Turner in the house. She was in the house. Dr. Victoria Dudley came all the way from Detroit to join us, and also Amy. Believe is I keep forgetting her last name. Bilola, I believe it is, from Nevada. So amongst other progressive leaders, we saw Stefania from Yes We Can. She was in the house also. But the people from Phil the Burn San Fernando Club, Phil the Burn Democratic Club in San Fernando, all in attendance. And like I say, I had a moment where I was able to see a lot of our comrades, a lot of the people that we usually stand shoulder to shoulder in different issues, just attending. Congressman. We have Congressman. What's his name? God, Jimmy Gomez, that attended as well. The new elected Congresswoman Sidney Kamlanger also attended. So it was a good moment for the movement. Uh, End of the year, and although it's close to Christmas, I was surprised how many people really attended.
That's great to hear. I'm so glad that people came together and, had a great event for the end of the year, especially. I think especially with the pandemic, when we have for 2 years have not seen each other, it is great to be able to see each other at one point during this year or next year, taking precautions, of course, but it's great to be able to see people in person and feel that energy that you don't not really get online, or you really can't experience a lot of the organizing space the same way in online as you do in person. So it's always great energy to be in a group full of people that are striving for that change.
Yes, and we had some people that have run for office and didn't make it, but they were in attendance, and we were all out there just having a good time, talking. There were some great speeches, particularly the one from Sidney Kamlanger, Congresswoman Cindy Kamlanger. By the way, um, I was able to attend with her. We went to a rally that was held in Westwood over regarding the solidarity with the people of Iran. So Congresswoman Sidney Campbell came out and she spoke at the rally. I was really touched by her speech and how she connected with the people. And this is a new Congresswoman, so I think that she's moving in the right direction. So our shout out to her for standing with the people of Iran, because this is very crucial. What's happening out there is very uh, uh, heartbreaking. People being executed for standing up for their rights and just for freedom of speech, and people are dying out there. So we also saw Congresswoman uh, Cori Bush over. She visited AIDS Healthcare Foundation right where I work. So we were able to give her a tour of the facilities where she saw the clinic, the pharmacy, food for health. We have a a gym over there as well. And then after that, we
Oh,
went to the St. Clair, which is on and um, 8th and Lake, right where we hold our food pantry. So we were greeted by Susie Shannon. As you know, Susie Shannon is a powerhouse when it comes to housing for all, and the issues relating to housing. So she greeted her over there, and we actually gave her a little bit of what's going on here in Southern California with housing.
yeah. What did she say about that? Did she say anything about what's happening in her area too that is pretty similar to here, or what was the conversation like on that?
Yes, well, she was sharing how in her district, because she happens to be in one of the poor districts out there, she's dealing with similar things, if not even worse, because resources don't come as much over
Right.
there as we have here. We fortunate that Los Angeles happens to be a very wealthy city, so we're able to get resources, and we are in a very Democrat state where there's we tend to have a little more resources than a lot of other states. But she's struggling.
Right.
She was blown away by some of the work that is being done here, and she would love to have the same thing uh, implemented over there in Missouri, in St. Louis, Missouri, by the way.
Right.
So we started a good conversation, and I think that we're going to continue that conversation. I'm planning to visit her district. That's one of the commitments that I made to her, that I want to
Hmm.
come down there and look at food insecurity in the area. And of course, Susie Shannon shared a lot of the hopefully um, uh, ideas that may be able to come to St. Louis through the efforts that she's doing as well.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I think that's always going to be the important part when it comes to equity. We know housing is a huge part of that, but it's also food security. I mean, there's a lot of safety nets that we need, um, not just as individuals, but I mean, as a society to really be able to thrive. Unfortunately, as we see in the budget, is never really in favor of these programs. As we mentioned, they have worse situations in that state. And usually, when it comes to state budgets and then city budgets, county, it goes to the police. And we know that when it comes to these programs, such as yours, and having clinical services, having food security, and I wish there was better housing policy, right? We could divert some of that money into these programs that will also challenge mental health issues and other illnesses that will keep that do end up in medical debt, medical bankruptcy when people don't have the right coverage. Everything is connected, and I think when we really talk about those issues with our politicians, well, some politicians see it as Cori Bush did, and she really noticed what you are doing and what's happening in her district and what she wants to bring in. But a lot of politicians do not even care to really even come and step into our communities to see what is the need and how can we sustainably come and do it. And by that, by sustainable, I don't mean just like environmental. I mean sustainable as in how can we keep the budgets as good every year to be able to maintain the programs in a way that is not just a 5-year program, but it's an infinite program that we can maintain for people who need it. So that's what we mean by sustainable programs. And I really am. Every time I hear and see your posts about food for health, I always get so it brightens my day because people like you and community organizers who bring these resources into our communities is what makes the change as well. Because politicians, as we see, look, not a lot of them have that idea. Not a lot of them really see where the needs are, but we do. So when we come in the community and with our community we create these programs, this is what gives this is what lessens the suffering and also provides some opportunity for people to thrive in the environments that we live in. But yeah, I hope that more we do elect more people who care about these issues and who will fund these types of programs instead of police, instead of military. When we know that where lessens crime is better programs, better resources for our people.
Yes. By the way, I needed to correct myself because I hate to mispronounce anybody's name, but the other sister that actually attended with Cori Bush was Amy, and I have her name here, and I want to make sure that I at least pronounce it correctly because um, it's she was actually a Bernicrat. She worked over in Nevada. That's where I met her, and some of you may remember her name, uh, Amy Bilela. So she actually ran for office as well, but she was one of our surrogates for Bernie Sanders in 2020. So I just wanted to give a shout out to her as well. But Jackie, you're correct. When we talk about, you know, you know people having to file for bankruptcy because of the debt that they amount on healthcare and many other stuff, is like this is what's keeping people down. Recently, what we are seeing right now is a shift within the Democratic Party. I don't know if you notice it, but when Bernie Sanders start pushing for these issues and he actually elevated the conversation, there seems to be a lot of the politicians now that they are starting to agree with this because they see that, look, it's a no-brainer. If we don't take care of the bill now, if we don't vote the bill now, you're going to have to pay later, and later is going to be more expensive. Is that correct?
Yeah, and there is this book. I will have to really remember what the name was, but basically this book talks about incarceration and talks about how we will foot the bill, a bigger bill later than if we do now doing the programs that we need. And by that we mean that a lot of the carceral issues have to do with these lack of resources. People don't just steal catalytic and converters just because they think it's fun. There's a lot of folks out there who want to make that money, and I'm not defending their criminal acts, but I'm just saying, like, there's less crime when we have things that when people have the things that they need. And we don't have as many petty crimes in a lot of the places where they have these basic needs. I don't really hear that in other countries, like, oh, there's like all these little issues happening and criminal, people are stealing this and that, or people are stealing from Walmart. Like, nobody really steals from Walmart if they have the basic needs that they need. So when we think about that, it's like, hello, we really have to rethink about how we are thinking of budgets and how we're thinking of what we're paying. And having more force on law and order is not going to do anything. We saw that with Ronald Reagan. We saw that with even Bill Clinton and all of these other politicians who were hard on crime. But at the end of the day, it's just not going to do anything if we are not taking care of people right now. It might seem more expensive at times for people to realize what that budget looks like in the beginning, but we also have to think about right now a lot of people are going to have more issues because we have neglected the problems for so long. So yes, the budget might be bigger, but as we see 10 years from now, we were to actually fund everything that we needed, like housing, Medicare for all, like a lot of things, even in a gradual, like with a gradual transition. Even with a gradual transition, we would see within 10 years a change, and within next generations, we would be able to lessen chronic illnesses, a lot of mental health problems. And we know this is true because other countries are already doing it, and they're doing it with the smaller amount of budgets than the United States has. We're the richest country in the world, so there's no excuse. And I know a lot of people always want to say, oh, it's because we're not all the same people, we don't have all the same beliefs, so it's just not going to work. Other people are willing to do things that we're not willing to do. But I have to ask myself, why is that the case, right? Why is that the case? And honestly, when it comes to it, it has to even do with the way we teach in school. Like, are we teaching collective thinking? Are we teaching how to be able to tackle problems together? Because I think when we do that, and when we start to change the education instead of being so individualistic, we are going to start to see people who are willing to do things to help their community. And that's just even a basic thing that I saw during the pandemic, right? A lot of people didn't want to wear masks. A lot of people didn't want to do some of the basic things to keep other people safe. But we saw that in other countries, it wasn't that big of an issue. And we see that because as we think about others and we think about how we're collectively stronger, we tend to see that the mentality on spending taxes on programs seems to be different. So that's just some of the things that I have noticed. And when we don't spend that money right now, we're going to be spending it later, and we're going to be spending in prisons and in wars and other things like that. And we see that is never going to help our people all over the world also are affected by the policies that the United States has.
Yes, yes, indeed. And what's happening too is that, um, you know, politicians are always making excuses. Why is it that we cannot have something? Always come out with an excuse,
Always.
a lawsuit. All of a sudden they want to
Yeah.
file a lawsuit because somebody passed this new proposal, and they make it. They will literally fight so people
Yeah.
will not get it. That's mind blowing. It's supposed to be the other way around, right? You celebrate because, oh my goodness, people are going to get some help.
Well,
But
that's
in
for
the
the
case
student
of like the
loans.
Republicans, they will literally do whatever it takes to stop progress for the people.
Yeah. And I mean, just even student loans. I mean, the PPP loans were not a problem, but no one got a lawsuit there and said, oh, we're spending, we can't just forgive people's debt. But for students, it seems to be an issue. And also, there's a lot of anti intellectualism happening as well on the right. And it's targeting college students. But mind you, as we mentioned before, right, we have a shortage of a lot of medical professionals. We have a shortage of so many different professions that we need to fill in order to continue as a society. But just basic, just to mention mental health, right? We don't have enough mental health professionals to help the entire the ratio of people who need it. So when we're not canceling student debt, or we're not providing a path to college that doesn't burden the student, doesn't burden the professional, then we cannot ensure that mental health is a priority. And I know a lot of Republicans, every time there's gun violence happening, or white supremacy or anything like that, they just want to point it to mental health. But funny, because they're the ones who also are opposed to every policy that would help people become mental health professionals, or become something in the society that can help lessen the pain that we are experiencing. So they're not interested in that. And even some Democrats, I see that they are. also funded by corporations and insurance companies that do not allow them to make the ethical choice and the ethical decision to implement policies like Medicare for All. But you know, it's one of those things where, as you said, like we can't spend money on this and we can't spend money on that, but it's really a choice. Poverty is a policy choice. Mental health, the mental health crisis that we have is a policy choice. And we really have to start being real about that, because they're not going to change their mind at any time soon, because their donors aren't changing anytime soon.
But this is why we continue to fight, and this is why we need to look at those people that are running for office that take no corporate money.
By the
Uh,
way,
right, it is hard. Look, it is hard. I talked to some of the candidates, and they struggle to get their campaigns going because the amount of money that they are putting
yeah.
out, these corporate candidates is
Hmm.
unreal. Look,
It is.
see what just happened with Caruso. Yeah,
Caruso.
no
It's like,
problem. Blowing, I mean, $104 million.
yeah.
You
And
know,
I have to tell you, have you heard, and this is also having to do with this, of the assembly district election, the ADEM election?
right?
So have you heard about that one? Because that
Yes.
one's
So
really that one's really necessary for us to be able to elect some progressives as well.
right, correct. And what we're gonna do is, I'm talking to some people. We're gonna be inviting some of the guests here so they come talk about why this is important, and that's coming up. So people already putting together their teams, their how do you call it, the slates.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be inviting some of the slates here to come and speak. Hopefully, starting very very soon because this is gonna take off, and this is the kind of stuff where the real changes take place.
Mhm.
And we need to educate ourselves as to why that is important. So we're gonna have somebody come here and talk to us about that. And
Awesome.
again, I'm glad that you brought it up, Jackie, because we did
Yeah.
mention that last week, and right now because of the holidays and everything that's going on, it's kind of difficult getting anybody to commit. But I actually was talking to Nina Turner, and uh, she has invited us to be on her show, and so really excited about that because we're gonna be able to share some of this stuff that is really
Awesome.
critical
Yeah.
for California politics.
And I wanted to mention it because in order, well, you also have to be registered Democrat, I believe, to be able to vote in this election. You do. But I don't know if the deadline for that registration to change your registration to Democrat has passed, but if you do go on to the ademelections.com/registration /register/mail, you can request your mail-in ballot. So there's going to be two different ways that you can vote. It's going to be in person or it's going to be by mail, but you have to get your ballot before this. You have to register to get the ballot before December 31st. So I just want to put it out there because I want people to know, and I want you all to know that this is one of the ways that we can have people who are progressive to elect candidates in the Democratic Party and to also advocate for the progressive policies that we want. So just want to put it out there so everybody can register to obtain a mail-in ballot if you're in California. And thankfully, we're going to have more people informing us on this because it's so important. And I barely knew about it in 2020. I had no idea this was even a thing. And the
Right.
funny part is that the Democratic Party, like, I wasn't really Democrat registered back then, but even when I was, like, back in the day, like, I had never heard anything about this. No flyers, no invitation, no nothing. You literally have to be politically aware to really know about this. And this is also how the Democratic Party gatekeeps their policies and their candidates. If people don't know about it, you cannot choose a progressive candidate and you cannot actually do changes within the Democratic Party. So this is
Right.
a way to actually do that. And I was really like, I was really like surprised to hear this was even a thing back in 2020. So here
Right.
we are again.
Right. The thing is that all this, the power structure that exists, people need to be educated about it. And
Yeah,
as progressive, I'm gonna say this, Jackie, because sometimes we think that we understand how the system works, and sometimes we don't even know. And then
right.
we're blaming, oh, they're just so corrupt and everything. Look, the bottom line is this: we need to educate ourselves as to how
Yeah.
the system is set up and how we can participate, and how is it that we can take, pretty much participate in this so that we can start either running for office or getting the community educated, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera. But it starts with us by
Yeah.
educating ourselves. So, I'm not gonna put everything that everything is corrupt and everything. A lot of times, again, it's because we assume a lot of things. But I think that the approach that we need to take is, look, I'm not gonna wait for them to tell me. I'm gonna start educating myself. And
Yeah, and
that's what we need
that's
to start doing, right?
yeah, and I think that was a huge change from, back in the day when I was, younger. I was like in college, I was 18, and I was like, what the heck? This is all messed up. And I was just questioning things, right? But I wasn't sure. I was just mad. But then when I started actually looking into things and actually getting into groups where I was learning political education, and when I was learning, just talking to people on different points of views within the left, because there was also different points of views on the left of how we should tackle things or what
Exactly.
we should do. I mean, we all have a different role, and I think that's also important. Okay, like everyone has a role because this movement is massive and we're going to be doing it for years, so might as well do something that you're also happy and comfortable to do, and that is not going to bring you out because the marathon is long. So when I was starting to educate myself, I was like, oh my god, I had no idea. And then you start to find out about city council, you start to find out there's meeting notes, you start to find out that you can vote in certain things that people usually don't even vote for, or even positions like water board district or whatever, positions that no one ever like
Right.
ever
Or even
runs for or
even the
gets
neighborhood council,
neighborhood. Yeah,
the
yeah, there's
neighborhood
so
council,
many.
that's where a lot of stuff starts. They
Yeah,
they pretty much do uh, take a vote on new developments that are taking place in their communities. So a lot of that stuff is all is influence that sometimes is necessary, but we just have not been at the table. But we coming through. I tell this all the time to people. They hear our footsteps. They hear
yeah.
us coming.
Yeah, and honestly, like one thing that I will say is that we just need more people involved. We need new folks who, it doesn't matter what age, I don't care what age they are. Like we need new folks coming in because quite honestly, like when I started getting involved, I swear to you, I see the same people in a lot of circles. And that's
Right.
great because I'm happy to see the same people. I'm like, yay, I know you. But at the same time, I'm like, dang, it's only us. It's like only us and we need more. We need to I want to be able to go to groups and be like, whoa, I don't know like 20 people here. But like I don't know so many more people here. And usually I do. And I'm like, oh man, like they're doing three jobs at once.
Right.
And if we had more people, we would do less time of work because all of us work, all of us are tired. Like I'm exhausted when I come from work, and sometimes only have 1 or 2 hours to be able to do any activity that's political or anything like that. And the
Right.
rest, you need for yourself. You do need that time for yourself. I do
And that
not
is
believe.
true.
Yeah, I do believe
Right.
that in order for us to be able to continue being in the movement, we need to be able to rest, and we need to be able to enjoy ourselves, and also be able to enjoy our family, our friends. But if we had 1 or 2 hours during that time every day to do something, and that's all you have capacity to do, that's fine. But we need more people because a lot of people that I also know burn themselves out. Like they're just in the movement, they just dedicate, and that's very cool. Like I'm really glad that we have a lot of people who are so passionate. But I feel so sad when I see people burn out because
Right.
we shouldn't have to feel so stressed and so sad in many situations like this when we have a group of people who are hopeful, right? We're all hopeful. We all want that. Although we're all angry, we're all, we have our moments of like, what the heck is going on? We also should be able to rekindle with that spirit of like, hey, there's a lot of folks backing me up. There's a lot of folks that if I don't have it today, somebody has it. Or we don't feel well today, no worries, like somebody can help me out or whatever, right? But
Right.
because a lot of us, well, a lot of us, but the some of us who are in this involved, we feel like, oh, I need to do this because who else? Who else does it? And that's what makes us a lot of tire out. And I think when we're able to reach out to other people to vote or to whatever, having them slowly get involved with us really helps grow the movement so we have less to do every day and more strengths for to grow and to do more. That's, I think, a key to ensure
Right.
that we also continue and don't burn out.
Right. Well, some of the stuff that I'm hoping to be able to do through these programs, this broadcast that we do on Sundays, is to be able to have these kind of conversations and bring some experts and bring some people that have experienced burnout, share the story, and pretty much, you know, take care of each other and come up with ideas. What are some of the stuff that we can do to avoid burnout? What are some of the stuff that what are the what kind of resources are they available, you know what I mean, for those people that are in the front lines volunteering, lifting the communities, because we need to take care of them. We need to take care of those people that take care of us. And I gotta tell you, man, I've been there. I know what it is, because there's so much work to do, and it's easy, very easy to burn out,
Yeah.
to struggle and to have mental breakdown, because
Hmm.
the amount of it is already very depressing dealing
Yeah.
with the problems that we have to deal
Hmm.
with. How vast and huge these problems are, and you in the front lines dealing with it,
Yeah.
y- it takes a toll on you.
Yeah, and seeing others
So
deal with it. So you're like, it's not just me, it's all these people.
right. So I gotta say, I've been fortunate that I have been able to manage my time and manage a lot of the stuff that I do. And my kids are grown, so I'm able to give a little bit more. But look, don't feel bad if you out there and you feel like I want to do more and I just can't. I just don't
Yeah.
have the capacity. Don't feel bad, because you need to take care of yourself before you
Hmm.
take care of anybody else. If you're not well, you need to take care of yourself. And it's okay. We're coming through. You know what I mean? More people are being added to the movement. More people are getting involved. Jackie, a few years ago, back in the days of Occupy, there was just a few people, fighting for the housing issues. Very few
Hmm.
people, very few organizations.
Right.
Now, everywhere that I turn around, I start seeing new groups popping up.
And tenants
So
unions.
right. So that is so exciting, because we are seeing again the energy, the people,
Hmm.
the movement. We're seeing those people, asking questions, getting involved. So I'm excited for what lies ahead for 2023. Even though the challenges are great, I think that we've been there before, where we can take on the challenges that lie ahead of us.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the momentum that we had really gets you into that mood of like, hey, if we do this and use certain strategies that one for other folks, or that have got people together, will win at least some victories. Because that's the other thing that I wanted to kind of say, like some folks might be running for first or second time, but because of financial issues, because of the capacity issue that we just even mentioned right now, they might not win, but with the right funds and with the right everything, once people know you more too, they're like, hey, that candidate ran, and I didn't really know about that candidate, but this time, now I know. And the other reason why I know that is because Bernie, for example, nobody knew who Bernie was. No, I had no idea until he started to run in 2016. And that's when I was like, wait a minute, this is a person, or this is a type of politic that I want to at least start with, right? And I say start with because Bernie is not just it. Like we have so many other candidates, we have so many other people in our local areas that can get us to a progressive movement that will forward all of the issues that we want and bring it to the table. So it started with Bernie, but we are going to continue, Bernie or not. And I say that too because a lot of people are always like, but what happens after Bernie? And it's like, we happen. We happen after Bernie. We come together and we really find other folks who are also interested in all these issues and get them to run. And I think, quite honestly, in my opinion, it's great when I see folks who are running and we're told by the community, like, you should run, we would want you to run, because those candidates are going to have that community already that are supporting them to tell them to run. They're going to have that community back them up when they do run. So
Those
I
are the good
always think it's a great.
candidates. Those are the
Yes.
good candidates.
Yeah, those are the good candidates because the community is already electing them in that sense, when it comes to them wanting to put them on the ballot. So those are always the exciting candidates as well that I look forward to.
Right. And I got to tell you, our young people, I just like, I'm mesmerized by them because I see their level of engagement. I see their wisdom. I see their creativity. I
Hmm.
see their passion. You know, we got to, and I'm speaking to people that being on the ground for a while now. Our
Hmm.
job is to support them. Our job is
Yeah.
to give them the tools that they need. That's what we need to do with our young people. Encourage them. This is something that Democratic Party is not doing. It's not encouraging our young people,
Yeah. And
and this is why they're not inspiring anybody.
the other part too that we have to remember is that ever since 2020 and people have been more online, people have been more on social media connecting through there. And I know I've met so many more people on social media too. And I actually met you in person, but I also met you on social media. But that's where we connected and we started having more conversations and all of that. But social media can be very powerful in the sense of connecting. And then when we connect in person, that's even a stronger bond. But I really do think, when it has come to social media, it has been a really interesting space to see. And there's also been very problematic things happening on there. But more than anything, I also look at seeing it as a tool for connecting and for building. It just depends, like anything else. Like, it really depends how you use it.
Right.
You could be addicted to it, but it also you could really use it to build connections, build solidarity, and to also know what's happening all over the world. I mean, the only reason why we know of what's happening in Iran or what's happening in Mexico, what's happening in Peru, what's happening all over the world is basically because of social media and how we connect on that. So
And,
that's also important.
right. And since we're talking about social media, we wanted to actually bring this point because, everywhere that you look right now, all you hear is Elon Musk, Twitter. That is the biggest distraction ever. You know what I mean? He has no interest in the people.
No, he
This
doesn't care
guy
about free
is,
speech.
yeah, lives in another world. So don't waste your time following this guy, listening to what he has to say. He has nothing to offer for the people, nothing to offer.
All we have to know is that, one thing he is doing on that platform, and something that I have seen on some activists talk about, is that destroying Twitter is very detrimental to some of the work that has been done on Twitter, that has been done by the left, and also journalists who were, see, basically Twitter and a lot of these forums can give you a direct connection to from your thoughts, in your tweets to the people. So by banning and disconnecting journalists, we are seeing that he's never for free speech. He
Of
really,
course not.
it seems like really he went on there to
Yeah.
destroy a platform that we were using to also connect. And that is one takeaway that we see, that billionaires and rich people are never going to have our interests. They're going to get these platforms and silence people who do not agree with them and they don't agree with, and they will try to divide us and also ensure that we don't have a way to connect, because when we have these forms of connection, we are stronger. So it's really unfortunate that that has been a thing, but I wouldn't give him any of my time personally,
That's right.
because that's what he wants. He wants us to be so entertained with him to the point that we lose sight of everything else that we have to work
Right.
for.
And the same thing with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is nothing but a distraction. He's the
Oh
biggest
God.
distraction. He's a freaking clown. And if we people still listen to this guy, it's like you're wasting your time. He has nothing to offer.
It's one thing I do have to say is I did laugh at the NFTs, because I was like, this is the first time in history that we have that the sentence of the president is selling NFTs of his AI
I know.
his AI pictures
What a-
has ever been
Jesus.
said. So
Coming like
it's hilarious.
Superman. You know what?
But he's
That's how
broke.
sick this man is.
He's
This guy is
broke.
sick in the head. Huh?
Like, he's broke, so he needs to get some money
He's
to
broke,
pay
but this
his
guy is
lawyers.
sick in the
But
head.
he
You
is, and,
know?
and that's the reason why. One thing like to do, I do like to play on with satire, and I do like to laugh a little, and then I move on.
Yeah. Well, I gotta confess, I do too. I created a couple memes, just to hit him back, but it's like, this is supposed to be someone that we're supposed to be looking up to because he's supposed to be, he wanted to be the leader of the world. It's like that guy's a clown. You know what I
He
mean?
is,
It's
and
like such a narcissist, man. It's like all about himself. It's
it's
like,
it's kind of it's been his thing forever, and I'm not surprised. Not surprised at
nothing,
all,
nothing surprises about him,
but I
right?
but I thought it was hilarious. I did think it was
I did
hilarious.
too. I think
And I
that
don't. I think his numbers plummet have even gone lower with the Republicans, and wanting him to run. So I don't know. I mean, that might be a kind of a good thing for us too, for the Republicans to have some infighting, because at the end of the day, that is also distraction
yeah,
for them. So,
yeah.
so Trump is actually doing the work of distracting the Republican Party to pettiness. So
Well, they're all in self-destruction mode,
yeah.
including Elon Musk. You know,
Oh
uh,
God, his takes have been horrendous.
this
Like
guy is
he's
like
he like, and some people are like, "Oh, it's because he's centrist." I'm like, "Honey, no, he's not centrist.
he's
Like he's
not
a
he.
fascist." I mean, really, to also very QAnon, very like very conspiracy theorist in a sense that this is dangerous for somebody to be misinforming people, and so like a lot of people take him seriously because he's rich. So it's very
Hey,
unfortunate because he gets to the
he brought
point.
back Mr. Pillow. He got him back on. When
I
I
mean,
saw that, I was cracking up.
I think it was funny because at the same time too, he kind of put a poll and he was doing polls and being like, "Oh, look, I'm being democratic because people are doing polls." I'm like, I never got to vote, but very democratic. It's
Oh
just the people he
Jesus!
likes that get to
Yeah.
vote.
Well, I
Funny,
gotta say that here in Facebook, Facebook took down our page, the Bernie Sanders Brigade
oh
page. Gave us
really?
no reason. We've been down for over a year. We had
Oh
oh,
gosh.
what happened here?
And by the way, just to kind of let you know, um, just one thing if people didn't know is that Twitter apparently is going to be taking down your page if you promote other pages on there. So if you're let's say like I have my Twitter and I'm like, oh, follow me on Instagram. This is my handle. I guess that is not permitted anymore because they do want to charge for ads. So they're that Elon Musk is really desperate to make money at this point, and it's weird. It's weird because a lot of the times, right? A lot of our pages for different progressive movements as well, they're like, "Hey, this is a tweet for." This other page that you can go to and see more information.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's not really allowed, and you can't even put your link tree on there, which is quite dumb because I'm like, wait, a
Jesus.
lot of people use their link tree to link a lot of different resources. So it's a funky game. Twitter is breaking, and I'm just gonna stay there till the
Yeah.
ship sinks.
And it's all about control. When it comes down to these
Yeah,
platforms, it's all about control.
it
They
really
want to
is.
control
Yeah,
the masses. They want to, tell you which way you need to go. So, having
yeah.
said all that, don't waste your time with Elon Musk. It's a waste of time. You following this guy's a waste of
you
time.
you can laugh and then move on.
Yeah. It's just like following Donald Trump. You're never gonna be rich. He's promising you, make
A golf
America
course.
great again. Yeah,
Oh,
right.
and he's promising you a little trip with him or something like that on
Oh
his
yeah.
NFTs. Willy Wonka, the Willy Wonka of golf,
Oh, good.
Mar-a-Lago.
Now,
I don't know.
on the serious news, we're gonna be at the Rose Parade.
Oh yes.
This coming January the 2nd. This is one of those years where the Rose Parade traditionally is held on January 1st, but
Mm.
this year is going to be January the 2nd because Sunday happens to be the first happened to be Sunday, so they have to officially move the holiday to the second. So that's when the Rose Parade is going to be held, January the 2nd. And we're going to be at Singer Park. We are marching for housing for all. We are marching for affordable housing now. When to see what we have in storage. This year, we are not going to build a float, but we have something very, very special that we're going to be doing. Cannot wait to share it with you guys, but we are planning all this right now, working with Michelle Byrne and also Betty Dumas and also Victor Casas. They're helping out along with a few other people, but we're going to be putting out a call for people to join us. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a great time. We're actually going to go in there dancing. It's going to be like a flash mob dancing. We got some songs that are just amazing. We're going to be wearing red. You're going to see a lot of red. It's going to be red everywhere. Flags, streamers. Our house, our signs are going to be shaped like houses. So we're going to have
Oh, yay.
dancing houses. We're
Awesome.
going to be dancing with the houses. It's really sharp. Oh my
That's
God, it's
so
going to be amazing.
exciting. Do you have a link or anything to know more information, Carlos, or to volunteer?
Yes, we put it out on. If you go to the page on the People's Rose Parade March, we have a link in there. But we're gonna be adding information very, very soon. Right now, we're going through all of our graphics. We're getting stuff printed. Uh, we look for ideas. How is it that we can improve this coming year? As you remember last year when we did climate change, uh, the
Hmm.
the sheriff's department blocked us from going into the parade route. So we were held back for at least 10 minutes. So by the time we got into the parade route, a lot of the people were leaving already. So this year we're going to go in there with no float. So guess what? They cannot stop us. We're gonna be there. It's gonna be good. We're gonna have really nice songs that we're gonna be dancing to. So all that is being lined up right now. You cannot miss this one, folks. This is gonna be a good one.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's unfortunate last time they did that, but hey, this time you're prepared. You know what's going on, and you're gonna show up. Oh, well, I'm gonna show up too, so I'm gonna be signing up. So we'll see how this goes, and I'm excited to join you
Yeah.
all.
I mean, we have some great plans of how we're going to do this. And as you know, this is we don't go inside the parade route itself
Hmm.
when the parade is in process. We wait for the last float to go in, then we go in. We pretty much follow the Rose Parade. That's when the People's Rose Parade starts. We've been doing this already for it's going to be the 11th year that we've done
Wow,
this. And
that's
each
awesome.
year we highlight an issue. We done the Dakota Pipeline. We done Bernie Sanders. We did twice. We actually did two Bernie's Feel the Burn March,
Oh,
uh,
cool.
and we actually done housing before. We done healthcare. Um, we done uh, something against the banks, against Wells Fargo. That was a good one too. So we done different things each year, but this year definitely housing is one of those issues that is impacting so many people. um, so we're looking forward to work with some of the housing advocates. We know that housing is a human right. Are going to be joining us. I was talking to some of the folks from that group, and they, I love them because they're really passionate about the work that they do, and so we're looking forward in working with a lot of people this year.
That sounds amazing, and I'm so excited. Which groups are going to be from Housing for All? Can you share that?
Well, housing is a human right. It's actually part of healthy housing, and some of the stuff that they do is they buy existing buildings, like hotels, large apartment buildings, and then they buy them, and then they cut everybody's rent in half. That's some of the stuff. So we're talking to some of the other
That's
groups
awesome.
like the tenants union, um, to
Hmm.
be able to join us as well. DSA. I was talking to some folks from DSA. So we're looking forward to hopefully add more people in there. I'm reaching out to ACE, Alliance of California's, believe it is called, yeah, ACCE, for community empowerment. So we are talking to them as well, starting some conversations. I reached out to them. I'm hoping that they get back to me soon. But we inviting anybody that feels that housing is a problem. You need to march with us. You need to show up. You need to support these efforts, because that's what this is about. We have approximately about 1 million people that show up to the parade route, and many more that are seen throughout the world, really, because of social media, people taking pictures and stuff. So, and then a lot of the folks, when they see us coming, because they see us every year, they wait for us, and a lot of times they get inspired. They come and join us. They actually join us and march with us. We've seen that happen several times.
That is really
So
cool.
it's really fun. It's a great way to start your new
Yeah.
year's,
Yeah.
and just to be a part of something good.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Actually, I live like really close by the Rose Bowl and the Rose Parade now, and I am like, this time I can wake up and walk and be there in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So
So which
it's really cool to know it's gonna be right here. So
yeah,
I'll see you there.
we just say, bring your walking shoes, because it's about 6 miles long, but you don't feel it because you're having fun. And this year again, we're gonna have a DJ playing some selected songs, and wait till you hear some of the songs that we're gonna be playing. It's just it's just so good. uh and again, we're gonna go in there with our props are going to be little houses. Instead of having those signs, holding signs, we're going to be
Right.
holding houses on the
Yes.
sticks. So we're going to be dancing. So it's going to be the dancing houses,
Yeah, yeah.
but I think it's going to be good. I'm really excited about it. And the people that we're working with are very creative. So come on, people, don't stay home. Join us on January the 2nd at the Rose Parade.
Yeah, let's party. Let's do this. I am really excited to because a lot of the stuff that we always do is like, the protests and things like that are really stressful in many ways. And those things are necessary. But then
Right.
when things like this come up, like this is what we mean, like with the whole burnout thing, like we have time to do that serious work and then we have time to do fun with that work. And this is
Right.
that part that, we can do it for fun and then we can see all the
Exactly.
people that were with in a smiling space. So I'll be there, and I think where should they follow? What page should they follow so they
Again, is
can know
is again is the People's Rose Parade March. That's the name of the page on Facebook. We'll repost the link here, but
that
I
way you
will.
guys can catch up because the logos and everything's gonna come out when is it gonna come out? Do you know? Like just so people can keep an eye out on
Well,
the
we already
flyer.
started. We already started posting
Okay.
the logos. So make sure you follow this page and the other ones. But we're gonna blast it out. We're already blasting it. A lot of people yesterday when we were over at the event over in Santa Monica with Congresswoman Cory Bush. We had an opportunity to share with people, and then people already heard about it, so they're excited. So I think we're gonna have a nice crowd. So you don't want to stay
Yeah.
home, people.
Bring your
You need
family,
to
bring
be.
your friends,
Yeah,
like
bring your little pet, bring your dog,
oh,
take him for a little walk,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, that's a good idea. I might take my
And
little dogs.
yeah, and if you cannot walk, bring your bike. Bring your
Mhm.
skates. Come on, skaters.
Oh, that'd be so fun to have little skating
We
houses.
are going to have fun. This is about having
Yes.
fun. We're going to be dancing. We're going to be like just having a great time, because it's about bringing a message that is very positive. The theme for the Rose Parade, the official theme, is turning the corner. Our theme
Mhm.
is going to be turning the corner, affordable housing now. So we're using one of their themes to push for our theme. And of course, we're going to be having microphones, so we're going to be able to talk to the audience, about how needful it is to be able to have housing for all, as your
Yeah.
sign says behind you.
It benefits all of us at the end of the
Yes.
day. So I think that's the important message to take away, and that it is a public health issue. I say that as a public health advocate, but it really is when we talk about mental health. We can talk about housing for all. That's a very important part of mental health. And
Yes.
any physical ailment you're feeling will always be connected to housing as well. Like when we have the COVID outbreaks, what did we need? A house to be able to get
Right.
better in, to be able
Exactly.
to stay home in. You cannot tell people to stay home when they don't have a home. So it's really important to really ensure that we have housing for all, so all of the other needs can also be met.
Thank you so much for that word. That is so true. You hit it right in the nail, Jackie. Our time is up already.
Yeah.
Wow, it went by fast.
And we
But you
close
have
it
been
with
watching Stand Up Fight Back, where we discuss a strategy and analysis for the progressive movement. We're here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. We love to have you join us again next Sunday. Tell your friends about it. Thank you, Jackie, for being here with me today.
yeah.
You're such an inspiration as a young person. I got to tell you that. And again, our shout out to those people that organized the event yesterday. Our program actually is dedicated to them because we see the work that they do to be able to put things together so that all of us can enjoy, so that
Yeah.
all of us can participate. So thank you all for being here with us. Any last words, Jackie?
Yeah, I mean, my last words for people would be action items to really, register for the ADEM, to mail in ballot, and also make sure that you follow the People's Rose Parade so you are tuned in with us. And I'll see you next Sunday.
All right. Good night, everyone, and
Night.
stay safe. What is going on here? I cannot seem to shut it up, but we good.